Good evening, everybody. Today I'm going to be talking about what information is and how it relates to information science, and then taking that information and figuring out how we can effectively help those who use information and come into contact with it and better themselves for their future and for their education. In 1991, M.K. Buckland wrote about how we are informed. He said that people are informed by a wide variety of things, such as messages, data, documents, objects, events, the view from the window, by any kind of evidence. If this is the case, then how can we, as librarians and educators, help people sift through all the information that permeates their brains? It all started with introducing the world of information technology to as many people as we can influence. With teachers, it starts with students, for librarians, the patrons, and so on. So what is information, and what is information science? As we can see here, with the various levels, there are many interpretations of what information is. Some set the idea firmly in communication, others set it as messages from one person to the next, others see it as anything that makes a difference to the conscious human mind, and others see it as an ambiguous string of characters that have multiple meanings. So it might not just be one of these, it might be all of these, which is very interesting. Information comes in many shapes and sizes, but I like how Buckland describes how people are informed. He says people will say that they are informed by a wide variety of things. Again, such as the messages, data, documents, objects, or events. If people are informed by all of these things, then what exactly is informing them? What is information? Information takes a wide variety of forms in a wide range of places. Some say information is communication among people, others say it is documents, data, or organization or patterns, but ideally information is something that causes a change to what we already know. Information adds to our knowledge. Since the defining of information is so difficult, Bodden and Robinson acknowledge that many of the concepts that they discuss are contested, and views of them have changed considerably over time. This is because everyone views things differently. As we see with Zinz, who states that data is persistent, while information is transient, depending on context in information. Depending on the context, the information, and the recipient. As we see here, data are sensory stimuli that we perceive through our senses. Information is data that is processed, and information that has meaningful to the recipient. In a significant sense, information is used as evidence in learning as a basis for understanding. And information, knowledge, and document, and so on are tricky concepts that can have many different meanings. Getting our patrons and our students and our educators to understand the differences between information definitions, data, and knowledge is just one way to help keep them informed, and in one way to help them structure all the information that they come into contact with. So, information and knowledge. According to Zinz, information is a message used by a sender to represent one or more within a communication process intended to increase knowledge in recipients. Information can inform, can change, and can create. Thus, information science is about the created information, the ability to change the information, and the ability to retrieve the information that we come into contact with. Information is a process. It's the act of informing someone, and when someone is informed, what they know has been changed. Bodden and Robinson state that knowledge is seen as a form of refined information, set into some form of larger structure, and both information and knowledge may be internal in someone's mind or external, encapsulated in some kind of document. Information science in the world of information. Information science starts with information. Thus, information is a basic resource. Knowledge can be produced from information, mainly through induction-like operations, as Zong states. Information science is a cycle of coming into contact with information, then transforming that information to knowledge, and finally organizing the information we discover so that it can be easily communicated to others. We can communicate this information to others using websites, ebooks, documents, data, videos, magazines, comic books, TV shows, movies, and so on. As teachers, we can use this media to help inform our students and help them better educate themselves in the digital world. Giving them the opportunity to work in the digital world and work with the digital platforms is just another way to help benefit their future. Information science is a field that aims at providing a better library, documentation, and information service to various groups of people. If this is the case, then we need to be targeting all ranges of people, from young children, and we can read them books and storytelling time, to middle school students who are focusing on research papers, and high school students who are more than likely in the same boat, to college individuals, and so on and so forth. Information is only as good if it is used, consulted, and found. We need to teach people how to find information that is useful to them. The study of information science. It takes information to perceive information. So if we start with information, and then we turn that information into knowledge, then we can order that information and communicate it to others so that they can see our discoveries. This is what we're trying to teach our students and our patrons, trying to get them to understand that there are many ways to communicate information. In today's world, there are so many digital tools that can communicate the information that students are trying to relay. But we need to be able to give students the opportunity, and patrons the opportunity, to use these tools, and then train our patrons or our students or our educators how to use these tools to benefit themselves and their futures. Information and people. In general, information and people go hand in hand. According to Bates, the field's interest is a human-produced information, and therefore how human beings relate to this information. How they seek it, how they use it, how they ignore it, retrieve it, is of central research and importance. We create the information that surrounds us by using it and regenerating it. People are already using information. They're using social media platforms to promote the information that they come in contact with. They're using Twitter feeds, WordPress, blogs, presentation software, all to communicate the information that they're coming into contact with. As a librarian or an educator, we need to find ways to train our students or our patrons how to better use the technology and digital platforms that they come into contact with. That way, they can use those same tools and same forms to advance their own careers and to help them in their own future, or to just help them outside of the library or outside of the classroom. The following videos display different ways in which students, educators, librarians, or any individual can help promote the use of digital tools for learning purposes.